So this is Jessie. She works in our media department. I think I mentioned earlier, this is a full service agency, so we do everything from design to production to buying the media for our clients. So that's what Jessie does. She'll tell you a little bit about it and then maybe a little bit about your background. And
Okay, yeah, sure. So we work really closely with Brittany's team and the creative team, and talk to them about their creative concepts and figure out what media vehicle that's going to go. So whether it's radio or TV, an outdoor billboard, whether it's something you get served online, if you're on Facebook or on ESPN, or watching maybe a show on abc.com, we can serve you ads. So our team here figures out like what audience we go after, whether it's young kids or somebody your parents' age, and then we figure out their media usage. Like if they're watching CNN, watching the news, or if they're watching Saturday MTV. So we figure out what's the best way to place the media, and then just work within budgets. So every client has a set amount of money that they can spend, and we have to make sure that that's on budget. Can't go over and spend more money than they don't have. So it's a lot of paying attention to detail, making sure everything is on time. Everything in this agency is very deadline driven, so it's really important to stay organized.
he's going to tell you a little bit about what he does, probably as a production artist, because we've talked to a couple of the designers.
Okay, so you all know how stuff goes through the design process and how it's finalized. Basically, it makes its way back here in this form, and so this basically is a job form, and you'll just you pick these up when they come in. And this one was this one that I was working on here. I had to make some billboards for Whataburger using this job, so I had to make honey mustard chicken club billboards. So basically I take what the designers made and then made them into billboards, and now I'm about to send them out. We're kind of the final step in the process before stuff is out there and printed.
So what do you do to files to make them go from just a design to ready to go out into the world?
Well, the design comes in, and it's usually done as aesthetically looking the best that it can, and we're just there to make it as printable as possible, as technically I guess perfect as possible, so that the printers can make these things for whatever size. I mean, this is about 20 inches tall, and we do little counter cards for frost.
They make sure that the format matches whatever it is. If it needs to print out huge, like an outdoor board, which are 14 feet by 48 feet, it needs to be pretty high resolution. It needs to be able to print out that big. So they get these crazy spec sheets, which have all sorts of weird specifications, like build to this DPI and size and bleed, which means it kind of goes outside the edges, and they have to make sure they follow all those details and kind of, again, solve it in the best way possible.
What's my background?
Yeah.
I graduated as a communication design major, so I did a lot of design from Texas State, and now I'm here.
Cool.
I got an internship, and that turned into a job.
Yep. But the communication design is a 4-year degree.
Yes.
Cool.
I moved around.
So to do what you do, what should I study? Like if I go into college this year, or next year coming up.
You want to get into design? Communication design. Are you here in Austin?
Yeah, I'm going to Florida.
Where have you been looking around?
I'm going to Houston.
Okay.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, just look for communication. There's a bunch of different ways to put it. Just a design.
Is it more like graphic design or
yes. And then there's also web design, which I do some web banner stuff too.
Is this like website stuff?
Yeah, this is a little more. It's not as in depth as the coding and everything, but this is just making things look good. So there's also web development that you could go into, which is pretty hot right now.
Yep.
If you were giving advice as far as what types of classes to take, would you say to spread it out or really focus on one type?
It depends on what you're interested in. The more you know from different kind of backgrounds, like if you know how to do design really well, like print design, and then you get also the web kind of background, so some coding. That's a good thing to have. So just in your free time, mess around, take projects from friends, make up your own projects, and learn some coding too for websites.
For sure.
Cool. Thanks, Matt.